Bob McAra. Bob and I go back a long way, and Bob's been doing some really interesting portraiture, which I wanted to get him to discuss, to have a chat about it. And happily for me, he's accepted my invitation. And this is an extraordinary piece. And for me, it's got your signature, Bob. It's got the eyes. All your portraits, they come out, they look at you, they kind of almost define it. Do you see this? Your trademark. Do you purposefully do that?
Yes, I think the eyes in a portrait are very important. The thing that humans look at when they come across another person is the eyes, look at the face. First thing they recognise, is it a man or is it a woman? And then they look in the eyes to see whether they're friend or foe, how they're feeling towards them. So in a portrait, it's essential that you try and get the eyes as near as possible to what you were seeing at the time of painting and how the subject was reacting to you. This particular subject is a monk. He's a Buddhist monk. He's been a Buddhist monk for 30 years.
He's a friend?
He's a friend, yes. Yeah. And he's a very deep and spiritual man. He has a tranquility about him, which I think comes out in the eyes.
There's an intensity about him. It was almost he doesn't want to be photographed or painted. He's surprised, he's reticent. Is he that kind of person? Is he withdrawn, quiet?
No, he's not at all withdrawn. He's a gigantic personality.
Really?
But he has an inner spiritual calm that I hoped the portrait would convey.
Well, for me, there's a moment of transition, something going on here. That, you caught him, or he's caught you. Not quite rabbit in the headlights, but there's something going on there. I can't quite put my finger on it. Or am I overcooking it?
Maybe it's something I haven't noticed. When I did the portrait, there was a big flower in the background, and it looked pretty beautiful. And I had this portrait with the flower and without the flower. But with the flower, it reminded me that he's very interested in nature. He's very interested in all living creatures, and so having something other than him in there was integral to the portrait.
Now, I was surprised to find that you use oils. Now, oils I always find kind of hard work because they take time to dry. And you can't just work. Quicker, I should do it quickly. How did you get over the fact you had to wait for bits to dry before you could rework them, or you could add layers to them? What do you do about that?
That's the fun of oils, because you can move stuff around, for days afterwards. So if you don't like the look of it immediately, you can move it around, etc. And you get a better finish, I think, on oils. This needs a coat of varnish over it to finish it off. Always when I do some work, I think, no, I really ought to try and sort that out. I really ought to do this. But sometimes you've got to say to yourself, well, that's it. That's the best I can do.
When you say finish, are you talking about the varnish, or are you talking about there's more work to be done on this piece?
There's possibly more work to be done on the piece.
Do you know, that's my chance to quote one of my favourite quotations. I don't know whether this is Leonardo or Picasso.
Yeah.
No artwork is finished. It's only abandoned.
That's it. I think I've abandoned this one.
You go to that, but I mean, for me, it's a good thing, because I know my own partner is an artist. Work can go on forever.
Yes, it can.
There comes a time you say, stop.
Yeah.
That's it.
Leave it at that.
You did say you'd done 2 of these. You said the first one wasn't good enough. What's going on there?
Yeah, I did, but it's underneath there.
You painted up, but I painted out. So when the X-ray in years to come, they'll
there's another one.
Maybe they'll slice it in 2.
Yeah.
How do you be able to cut it in 2? Oh, there's 2. That's good value for money then, isn't it?
It's very good value for money. But I've stopped doing that now. I just use another canvas board.
Oh, you got the money now for 2 more canvas?
Oh, yeah. I'm in the money now.
And so, just to finish off, just a few remarks about your brush technique, because I'm minded of actually a bit of Van Gogh in there. And so you push the paint around. There's a bit of Titian in terms of some smudging. There's all this. Are there any reference points?
No. What I love about painting is how paint turns into flesh. The the use of paint is absolutely beautiful. It's delicious when you get it on your brush. It's delicious when you put it on the canvas. And it's even better when you can get it to look a bit like skin, flesh. It transmogrifies.
Well, I must admit, I can see some of your joy in the garment here. One thing you just reminds again. What's the name of the piece?
Monk with flower.
Monk with flower. Well, thank you for that, Bob. Really, really interesting.